Ireland.
Ireland. It's good to meet you.
You
You're a
too.
Zulu man. You've got a Zulu husband.
Zulu.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Zululand.
Mazululand. Right. Thank you very much.
Here we are on the Blue Train. It is the most luxurious train in the world. It's 9:25 in the morning and we've just moved out of Pretoria. We're on our way to Cape Town and we will pass through some of the most beautiful countryside in South Africa, including the Garden Route. Our restaurant manager has just been in to talk about our requirements on this most luxurious of trains and invite us to the various dining cars. Already, as you can see, there's fruit on the table here. Magnificent suite with beautiful wood. Here we have our CD player and remote control. At the moment you're looking at the driver's view from the front of the engine through the camera. In addition to that, there are many radio stations and video stations available should we want them on this TV. But as you can see, this is our day room with our couches and cushions, chairs and table and footstools in case we get weary. Show you the inside of this drawer. All the drawers in the train are fitted with this lovely, beautiful silk material. Oh, how to feel spoiled. In our day room here, we have our wardrobes. All the information on the Blue Train and its logo. The wardrobe, as you can see, is all lined in the same silk material. They fell off, you didn't hang them up properly. And in here we have a safe for all those valuables. You never know, we might buy, because they've told us there's a magnificent shop on board that sells gold and diamonds and jewels. Haha. Now, folks, I'll bring you into the bathroom on the train. As you can see, we're moving along. Chug, chug. And in here, whoops, let you in, a full-size bath on the train. That is all marble and wood. It is magnificent. Begin to see how this train cost 14 million US to refurbish. It's magnificent. There are 70 suites on the train at the moment, and I believe it is a little less than half full.
So you're always on this train?
No, I'm always on this train. I'm the captain of this train.
This train?
This train in particular. There's two trains. I don't know whether you were asleep last night when we crossed the other Blue Train. We always cross at 12 o'clock midnight.
Cross the train?
Because when we leave Cape Town, the other one leaves Pretoria. So we always cross 12 o'clock midnight. Except obviously for once a month. When we do our long trips to Zimbabwe, Victoria Falls, which takes about 2 nights, or the coast from Cape Town to Port Elizabeth, the garden route. Yes, quite right, because there's just plenty of gardens. That's why it's called the garden route. Flowers and everything. It's quite lovely here. Yeah. So, but otherwise, I'm always on this train. Yeah. I mean, our staff are actually trained very well. Any staff member who's on the train, before he get on board, he gets actually a very intense training, so that he knows what type of clientele we're dealing with. As you might have noticed, most of our guests are actually overseas based people.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Michelle. Happy birthday to you.
Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip hip!
Hooray! Thank you. break that open for us and get those little seeds, please? They were using these little seeds to weigh many things. And so they just decided to continue using these little seeds to weigh the diamonds. When diamonds were found in South Africa in 1866, eventually lots of diamonds were found here in Kimberley, 1868 and onwards. They continued using the same weight as the Indians had. But by 1912, 1913, they realized that the weights were not all the same. There was no universal weight. Each country had their specific weight. So they decided that they would reweigh these seeds, and that would determine the weight of the carat.
I don't know. Let's see. Well, this is your first time and you're one of the lucky ones.
Get it out.
Oh, that's beautiful. Were you driving it yourself?
Yes, yes. That's all right.
Thanks for
Split splash, I was taking a bath. All about a Saturday night.
I'm not used to being photographed in a bath.
especially on the train.
In fact, I've never been on a bath in a train. And a full-size one at that, and the train is moving along and we wouldn't even know. We're getting ready now to go for dinner, so everyone has to dress up. There's always some colours in it.
You can see the way it's going.
Not doing it yet. Another
The
minute.
train is going along. Sugar. Oh, it's going clockwise. Same way it's going.
Big bang, I saw the whole gang dancing on my living room rug. Well, flip-flop, they were doing the bop. All the trees had a...
So that you can just show people at home. Really? And did you have the cassette? Did you have the cassette? Send it to me.
Oh yes, send it to you. Yes, we have to.
Yeah, the station. You were good to me. Sure, I'm telling you the one is true. Great. There's Albert, my name. My surname is Motsepe. There's my second name. Motsepe. Yeah, that's my second name. Motsepe, yes. That's my second name. And then that's my boss. Gani. That's Sunveli. That's my location.
What is the name of that?
Bakuboom.
And where is it?
Back, right in Rustenburg.
Yes.
Right in Rustenburg, on Sun City. Yeah, it's a nice game launch.
Yes, the lovely.
I worked there actually, the Bakuboom, the Samaritani, the Cabanas, the Cascade Hotel. Cascade.
No, haven't been, just saw it.
Yeah, the Cascade.
Who have we over here? Huh? We're the man in the moment.
It's almost midnight, and here we are on the blue train on our way to Cape Town. And you are now looking at our bedroom. Yes, the train is rattling along, and here we are. And I want to show you the linen. It's the initial B. It's the first time I've ever felt I've had monogrammed bedclothes. Actually stands for the blue train, but for tonight I'm going to believe it's Brenda. It's absolutely beautiful, the ultimate in luxury.
Guys, you want to say?
Not even brushed.
I know. It's 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. And I have a camera in my face again, as you can see. But I don't mind because our butler has just delivered tea and coffee. I'm sitting up in bed looking out at the end of the desert. And we're looking forward to coming into all the beautiful plants. Now that Paul finally has me awake.
So this is breakfast time.
Breakfast show. That's a break of, yeah, we have to shoot. We have to shoot. The shoot all be with you.
Absolutely. Scrambled eggs wrapped in smoked salmon. And eggs done to water with bacon, mushrooms and tomatoes.
Cornflakes.
Thank you. Champagne sausages, whatever they are.
Yes, and some milk for you, sir. Got a milk for you.
And what else?
Hot fielded mushrooms on toast. And a chef's choice of omelets made to order.
What's the best part of the blue train?
I don't know. It's all good.
Enjoyed the food.
Yeah.
I think your mum liked the food.
Not gonna like it when we get home. Get on their scales.
Guess there's no use in hanging round. Guess I'll get dressed and do the town. I'll find some crowded avenue, though it will be empty without you. Can't get used to losing you no matter what I try to do. Gonna live my whole life through loving you. Called up some girl I used to know. After I heard her say hello, couldn't think of anything to say. Since you're gone, it happens every day. Can't get used to losing you no matter what I try to do. Gonna live my whole life through loving you.
What you see, these are irrigation dams for the farms. That is the Strand, and that beach going all the way around there, that is Strandfontein, a very popular for fishing. Strandfontein. Strand is a beach.
Okay.
And Fontaine is actually Fontaine, but there's a little stream that runs in there. So it's called Beach Fontaine, which is a little gully with water in it, okay? And that goes all the way around to Cape Point. And this, of course, is False Bay. Now, over there you can see a little island. You see it in the middle, on my finger. It's not very clear.
No, it's just small.
Yes, tiny. It is a seal island, and that is where the great white sharks hang around. That is their main staple diet, is seal. And the Air Force.
See is a little
Yes,
It's tiny.
It's tiny.
Yeah.
It's tiny. The controversial clubbing of seals used to take place there, and then the conservation people came in and they've curtailed it right down. Yeah. But they do become too many, and then the fishermen shoot them because they rob their nets and things like that. So yeah, absolutely. And that's where we've just come from. That is the big mountain on the edge. That is the side of Table Mountain.
Right.
Okay. And that is all the back table. It goes all the way down, and then it goes all the way through to that point. On top of Table Mountain is 5 dams. 5 dams. Drinking water dams. There's... Say that again. That's what I said to you. I've never been up here that the wind is not blowing. But you can see where the fire comes. You come all the way down. You see the stumps and the trees. This whole place was ablaze, and they managed to stop the fire here. And before it got over onto that side, that is a natural rock outcrop. That wasn't burnt with the fire.
Right.
But this whole mountain was ablaze. And at the same time, Cape Town was burning. And it was beautiful to see, but an absolute shame. You know, at night you come and stand here and you see the fires burning. I mean, it was like cities burning, you know, during the war. It was terrible, but beautiful.
Yes.
And where I live on the side of that mountain over there, the one in the far distance.
Right.
My washing, you put the washing on the washing line. It's full of ash.
Black.
Full of ash. So we use the tumble dryer. You know, you just... What you see in front of you there, that is the new fishing harbour. I'll drive you past the old one, but it's mainly for fishermen. You can actually see guys going out now fishing, and some sitting right on the point catching snook or whatever on the corner. The restaurant that we're going to is in that harbour. Can you see on the rocks there, a place with a silver roof, right on the rocks?
Yes.
That is the restaurant where we have lunch. Okay, and this is, as I said, the whole bay is called Walker Bay, and it is one of the major whale breeding grounds in the Southern Cape. And if you look carefully, you can see them all over the place. It's so lovely today because there's no chop on the water. So wherever you see the water being disturbed, that's whales. And we'll get right close up to them. They come really close in places, and they actually rub the barnacles off them on the rocks. It's beautiful. This was originally mainly for holiday homes. The rich retired come here. I'll drive you past some houses after lunch, and you can see the kind of money that's being spent here. And it's very popular for fishing, and it was discovered by a guy called Hermanus Petrus. That's where the name comes from, Hermanus. He used to keep sheep, and he used to bring them down here, and he used to look after them. He was a shepherd. And when they discovered it and its potential for a holiday resort and for the rich and famous and all the rest of it, it became Hermanus as a town. It is the only town in South Africa with a station but no train. It's a bus station, but it was, Cecil John Rhodes was going to run a railway line in here, and that was during the Boer War because they wanted the wheat for the war effort, and the train line never materialized. So the station was built but no train line, but the railway buses come in there.
Right.
Okay, there used to be a little airport over here, and then of course the blacks set fire in the days of the guerrilla stuff. They set fire to a few aeroplanes and they closed it down. And now it's become, you see the low-cost housing.
Yes.
That's the type of housing the government's building for the black people. This is the old fishing harbour. Where we had lunch was the new fishing harbour. They used to come in with their catches and the boats, and they used to drag them up the rocks here, park the boats over there, and on those platforms over there, that's where they used to clean the fish.
The baboons. It's a baboon-proof bin. It's designed so that they can't get in there and rummage and take and eat things that are not meant to eat. And to open it, it's very simple. Go along, you lift the handle, which is a latch, and then you're able to open the dustbin if you're a human being. And it stops the baboons being able to lift it themselves. As a perfect example of the Cape Folding Mountains, when the continents shifted and the continents shifted and they tore apart, and the tremendous pressure, they caused this folding effect on the mountains, which is very plain to see. A lot of Englishmen come out here, they get these lily white skins straight out of London. Well,
Going up Table Mountain.
Now, John, what have we got here?
This is the Cecil John Rhodes Monument. This was actually one of his favorite parts on the side of Devil's Peak. He used to come up here on Sundays and just sit and look at the scenery. So they felt this was the best place to put the monument to him. Cecil John Rhodes, as you know, was the guy who came to South Africa and became one of the most richest people because of the diamonds. He was successful in amalgamating all the small diamond companies and all the guys who were their small claims. He turned it into one big organization called De Beers, as you know it today. This monument, there's 49 steps. The 49 steps depicts the age that he was when he died. He only lived for 49 years. He died in 1902, and he died, they say, of breathing, but it was actually a heart attack that he died of. This statue here, Energy, was by C.F. Watts, and it was a tribute to him because he had so much energy, and that he felt that was the best way to depict Cecil John Rhodes. At the top of the stairs is his bust. You can just see it from here in the shadow, and of course there's 8 lions which line these 49 steps, and the lions are of course from the British to depict the colonialism. And that's about it. And then of course we've got this most beautiful view of the southern suburbs, and more or less where I stay, and then of course there's just a little bit of Table Bay. Oh yes, of course, and that's the salt and pepper pots which you saw when you came from when we came from Hermanus, and also when we came back from the wine route the other day. Those mountains in the far distance, of course, is the Hottentots, Holland.
Yeah, the mountains we were up the other day.
That's the mountains that we went up through the pass, is to get over to Hermanus to go and see the whales. Yeah.
But not specialist. That's just £2.
The green door ones, excellent. There's one there that's my absolute favorite. Roses are there for a very good reason, apart from the fact of giving it some beauty. The roses are susceptible to the same diseases that the vines are. So a farmer just has to walk along and he looks at his roses.
Right.
And then he can see if there's anything going on in the vineyards. Because the reason being that the roses have a flower.
Yeah.
So the insects go for them first. So then he says, oh, there's such and such a bug, there's an aphid or something like that, and it attacks the roses first. And then he says, right, he gets the farm workers and they go down with their they've got a specially designed tractors, they're not as big as normal tractors, and they've got these big spraying equipment tanks on the back. And the guy takes a ride through and he sprays it for whatever.
Okay.
So this is an early warning system.
An early mirror.
It's an early mirror or early warning system for the farmer.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Because
And you'll always find, early in the morning, you'll find the winemaker. He's out. Not so much now, but once the berries are on, then they take a walk and they're checking them all the time and tasting them, because the time for harvesting is crucial.
Right.
Okay, for a particular cultivar. And then he knows, yes, okay, then he starts preparing everybody. He says, right, we're going to harvest tomorrow. And then the game's on. Then this place is a hive of activity.
Just pick the moment.
He's got to get in. If it's a particular cultivar, now you'll find, for instance, he'll have about 20 rows or 100 rows or 300 rows or whatever of a particular cultivar.
Right.
And then he'll say, right, we have to take them in within 24 hours. Because as far as he's concerned, the sugar content or any flavors that he wants in his wine is there now, it's present. Then he harvests
And it can
them.
change in a day.
Oh yes, if they get left on, now especially as we start going into our summer now, it gets left, if it gets a little bit too late, the sugar content goes to a peak and then it falls off.
Right.
And then you can forget it. Then you can forget it. So the winemaker, you'll see once the berries on, and round about November, the middle of November, he'll be walking up and down, and you'll see him early in the morning when the grapes are nice and cool, tasting them.
Spirit is calling. Make them grow, make them grow. They are our future. Bless their soul, bless their soul. Go fiela ni gonge, fiela ni gonge, fiela ni gonge, go fiela ni gonge, 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 go fiela ni gonge, fiela ni gonge, fiela ni gonge, fiela ni gonge, fiela ni gonge. Yenda loga ngolo ngolo, fiela no. Yenda loga ngolo ngolo, fiela ni. Yenda loga ngolo ngolo, fiela no. Yenda loga ngolo ngolo, fiela ni. Yenda loga ngolo ngolo, fiela no. Yenda loga ngolo ngolo, fiela ni. Yenda loga ngolo ngolo, fiela
This frieze was done by Anton Anrieth. He's responsible for most of the sculptures and the carvings of the Dutch East India Company. And here's a perfect example of it. And he had a tremendous sense of humor, this guy. Because these little guys here are the little wine gods.
Yeah.
And for good harvest. And they're traditionally men, the little boys. But if you look carefully, you'll see one of them, he says, I saw this. He made one a lady. You see the little one sitting on the right-hand side?
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're all boys. Traditionally, and as the Greek mythology and everything goes, Bacchus, that's correct. They are all males.
Yeah.
But he said, I saw this, and he made one a female. Now, in Cape Town, too, in the company gardens, he's depicted the English and the Dutch, and the unicorn and the British lion, and he's made the British lion on with his tongue hanging out like he was tired, you know, of all the plunderings and all the rest of it. Very clever, very clever. That's very, very interesting, because everybody says Cape Silver. I see you had tons of Cape Silver. Today I'll show you the one and that's False Bay, as I showed you the other day when we went to Amanus. This area down here is Muizenberg. It's very, very popular holiday resort, although a lot of people live here as well. In the old days, it was very difficult to get here. It took you almost a whole day by Cape Cart to get here. There was no tar roads or anything, and the railway line was only put in at Cecil John Rhodes's time with the Boer War, because they had to get the military backwards and forwards, and that's the reason why the railway line was put in. But before that, it was exclusively for holiday use because of its inaccessibility from the Cape by just anybody. This waterway here feeds a series of inland lakes. They're not very big, little lakes. We have a housing complex that have their own little jetties and all the rest of it, but it also is tidal, and it also gets broken over exactly like I described to you in Amanus. They open it up when it gets full of too full, then they open it up, it rushes out to the sea, and then it gets cleaned out by the sea a little bit. And the first invasion by the British in 1795. The ships came in to Simonstown, which is a military harbour. They had a letter from the Prince of Orange because the Dutch had just gone to war with the French, and they were worried that the French would come and take over the Cape. So they gave the British, there was a British war fleet around, and they gave them permission to hold the Cape for the Dutch. It was a treaty that they signed between themselves. And what happened was nobody bothered to tell the locals. So they saw the British ships arriving and they thought, oh, we're being invaded. So they rushed all the troops up here to this narrow little neck of land over here. And they said, right, we're going to defend the Cape. But what they forgot is that the British came with men of war. So they sailed the ships into the corner here and lambasted them with the cannons.
All right.
And so the Dutch retreated, and this little town there is named Retreat. And that's where they made another stand, out of the range of the ships and their cannons. And that's how that all happened.
That's just nuisance, isn't
Yeah.
it? Oh.
Right, now how he got his name, he adopted the Navy boys.
Right.
And he was a stray dog. He's a Great Dane. And he started hanging around with the seamen and hanging around with them. And eventually they adopted him. They gave him the name because he was always a nuisance. They called him just Nuisance. But what he used to do, and this is fact, this is no tale. When they used to go into Cape Town to drink, he used to go with them on the train. And then the last train was 11 o'clock at night. He used to start pulling on them, take them down to the train. And then of course the South African Railway said, no, we have a rule that no animals allowed on the train. This dog can't travel on the train anymore by law. So they said, well, what if he was a seaman? And they said, yes, well then you'd have to get him a commission. So what they did was they went back to the Admiral and they said, just Nuisance, he looks after us. They gave him a commission. They called him Able Seaman, just Nuisance. And his job description was bone crusher. And that's him. He got on parades, he got his own collar and his own cap.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And his remains, there they are on the top of the hill. The white beacon with a white cross on it, that's his remains. The high one in the background is Cape of Good Hope, and the one in the foreground with its own little beach at the bottom, that is Cape Maclear. And then of course behind me, that is the Cape Point with all the lighthouses.
100 mile an hour wind.
And with 100 mile an hour wind blowing at the same time, yes.
Oh, Lord.
So if I fall into the camera, you know, this is a real action shot. The ocean you're looking at now is the Atlantic, and over on towards the left-hand side there, if you can see that boiling in the water, that rock is known as the Bellows. That's where the Lusitania ran aground, yes. Well, that's where she ripped her guts open and she sank. Very similar to the Titanic, but that was done by an iceberg. This is still the Atlantic Ocean, but a lot of people think because this is where the two seas meet, but it isn't, where the two oceans meet. This is False Bay. This is the mouth of False Bay. On the far side is the other one that we saw the other day when we came back from Hermanus. We drove right past it. That's Cape Hangklip. Hangklip means hanging cliff, because it literally hangs over the water. And of course, which the Portuguese name Cabo Falso, hence False Bay.
Yeah.
Where the two oceans meet is much further up that way towards the east.
That's the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, it's still part of the Indian Ocean, although a lot of people like to think it's another ocean, but it's not.
Isn't there something about you don't swim in the Atlantic Ocean because it's so cold?
Yes, the Atlantic Ocean, out of the two oceans that surround South Africa, the coldest ocean is the Atlantic Ocean. And that's called the Benguela Current that brings the cold water down. The warm water comes from the Indian Ocean. The Indian Ocean comes down from the Madagascar Channel and the Madagascar Current. I'm not sure what kind of rock this is. That's wood.
The way the elephant's skin is creased. Look at the way it's done. 35,000 rand.
This place is called drive through the snail space. A lot of
Spirit is calling. Make them grow, make them grow. They are our future.
Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer is gone and all the leaves are calling. It's you must go and I must bide. Oh, come me back one summer in the meadow. Oh, when the valley's hushed and white with snow, and I'll be here in sunshine warm, in stars glow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so.
Brenda, do you sing? Because I know the Irish like to get nice and tiddly and they go, oh, Danny boy, and they cry their eyes out and their tears run into the sherry glasses, okay?
Even tiddly I can't sing.
Even tiddly she can't sing. Okay, now I'm going to ask the boys to sing for you, oh Danny boy. Would you like that?
I'd love that.
All right. Where's Uda Ahmad? But I'm going to ask them to do two versions of Danny Boy. The one is called Oh Danny Boy, and the other one is just as sad, it's called Ruasa. It's the same sentiment, you know, just different tunes. All right. Oh Danny Boy. This is for you, Brenda. Come and stand here.
The pine are falling from glen to glen and down the mountain side. The summer gone and all the roses torn. It's you must go and I must buy.
Thank you, Ahmad. All right, thank you. That is for you, Brenda. Oh, Danny Boy. And do you know that that song was written in South Africa? It was taken overseas, but it was written in a place called Port Elizabeth by a local. Okay.
Thank you very much.
And if you ever have a party with our friend Mr. Keane. Yes, sorry,
Frankie baby.
Frankie baby. Yes. Frankie baby.
Frankie baby.
Love ya. From DWB.
bags and go.
She used to prowl the streets of Springs. She used to walk with meaning. Her nickname was Bulldog.
Listen.
Good afternoon again.
Pilanesberg Game Reserve is one of the many game parks in South Africa that can be visited all year round. It is located close to the Botswana border in the north of South Africa. Although not the largest park in South Africa, it does have all the big five animals.
Where are you going now?